Hello, guys. It is Magi, and it is I, Devin Crockett, back with another video. And today I really wanted to talk about improvement. And I just wanted to give out some tips on how improvement works because I feel like I've really improved. And I kind of wanted to share what I've been doing to get better. And also, I wanted to explain the myth of draw every day. So I'll first start off talking about the idea of simplification. Simplifying my artwork to a degree that it makes sense for me and also for others to understand. So I've been drawing bodies from different angles and really trying, because I've always been good at drawing perfectly on the side, perfectly straight ahead. But when it comes to like twists and turns, it's always been very difficult for me to draw those. And so this practice I've been doing was the idea what I've done. Two things is simplification, and the second one is rounding off using multiple shapes. So I'll use squares. That's my basic shape language. I like squares, so I always start off with squares, and then I'll go to using circles next if needed. So, and I say if needed because lesson number two, shape language. Learning how to use shapes and putting them into shape language allows you to simplify things and for it to make sense still. So I've noticed with my own art, my base models might be a little bit more boxy because for me that makes a lot of sense. But once I'll add in curvature to my character because I want he's a kid, or young, I should say. So I add in more curvature into the face, things like that. And I'll add more, sometimes I'll even add more angles. And I've been, I think in the last video I talked about practicing clothes, and I'm adding in sometimes more angles into clothes as well. So I've been actually adding in triangles, which might sound crazy, but for clothes, I've noticed there are a lot of triangle shapes in the curvature of clothes. So not necessarily the outline of the clothes, but where the clothes bend and fold and overlap on each other, you'll see a lot of triangle shapes. And so I just kind of put those triangle shapes close to where they bend, fold, or overlap, which is usually towards the muscles or where there's extra slack. So I've done that, and I've simplified my artwork. Simplify that idea. Instead of trying to draw every single detail, I've simplified it into saying, okay, triangle, this kind of triangle right here. That has helped me greatly simplify my work. And lesson 1 and 2 kind of go into each other, right? The idea of shape language and the idea of simplification. So I'm using the certain shapes, squares, triangles, circles, for specific ideas that I have noticed that I am able to read. It might not be exactly accurate. Well aware is, probably not accurate at all, right? And more detail could be added on top of that if I wanted to. But for the sake of simplification, it is very helpful. And then the other idea of simplification is simplifying the body and the human structure. Not trying to draw in details, but like just draw a quick hand. Something I learned because I wanted to learn how to animate. And so shorthands, they call them shorthands, so my apologies. So trying to draw a shorthand also helps a lot in the idea of simplification because, well, it is exactly what it sounds like. You are literally, it's like gesture drawing. You're literally just drawing a quick little thing to get the pose, the idea of what you're trying to get across. And that's what I'm trying to get my art across, right? That's the whole point of drawing, is to get my ideas across. So I'm very much so focusing on ideas, capturing the idea, capturing the idea of motion, things like that. I'm trying to get that across versus trying to capture the details, trying to capture, because I think one thing as artists that we try to do, and they say, oh, we try to do too much detail, which is true, but I think we're trying to capture the story versus the moment, and I think that's very important idea. It's like, yes, because all art, I think, tells a story. And so if you're not telling a story, if you're not trying to convey an idea, then really what are we talking about, right? Whether you're just drawing your favorite character, you're drawing your favorite character in a moment, right? And in that moment, what are you trying to convey? I think though that's one of the most important things we have to think about in art is, what are we trying to convey? Are we trying to convey someone who is shocked, someone who's scared, someone, like I said, are we trying to convey the seriousness of the moment? What are we trying to convey? Very important idea, and like being able to get down on paper and draw out it sounds bad saying this, but like being able to draw out the bare minimum to convey an idea, right? And then you can overlay that with the bare bones with more details or whatever it may be, but really go hard and focus on the bare bones, because that's actually the most important part. And I think as an artist, I didn't do that. I've started doing that, and I'm kind of like, to be honest, you could say that my style has even changed a little bit, because I'm actually not drawing as much detail as I used to try to, but I felt like every time I tried to draw detail, it looked atrocious. I didn't like the way my art looked when I was really trying to draw detail. So leaving out some of that detail, I think I've improved greatly. On top of the way I operate my mind is, you don't want the beginning stages to be too hard, right? Like step number 1, number 2 should be relatively easy compared to step number 4 and 5, right? You should make it as easy as possible. And while there are multiple, just like we have multiple layers, we have multiple steps to learning, multiple steps to doing anything, right? Multiple steps, we have multiple steps to trying to convey an idea. The idea just doesn't come in and you do it in 2-3 lines. Like, no, it's more than that. So I say that to say that when we're trying to convey an idea, we need to be able to draw out the skeletons of the idea. Even if it's a literal story that you're trying to write, you need to have the skeleton of the story, right? So I think this goes in all art forms. I think it is all relative to communication, right? Are you communicating what you're trying to draw out? Another thing I think that has greatly improved my art, well, I'm gonna pose it like this. I got some good news and I got some bad news. I had lost my job. That's the bad news. Good news, got a lot of time to draw. And also, my PlayStation broke. So I've been able to hone down on these ideas of simplification and things like that. And so now, because of that, I want to get into this idea of drawing every day. Even though I don't have a job, I don't have a PlayStation anymore, I still draw And that doesn't mean I draw every day. I do draw a lot. I do draw a lot more, but I don't draw every day. Just because sometimes I still have responsibilities, taking care of family, things like that. So I still have other things to do. That doesn't mean all my time is free. But, and I don't think drawing every day actually helped improve my art. It was more so drawing every day improved my my mentality about art. So what I think with drawing every day, it helps me mentally, and it also, because I'm spending more time on it, I'm able to mentally think and process these ideas versus just spending 15 minutes a day. I'm able to spend an hour, 2 hours a day, usually probably more. It's usually more spaced out throughout the day, right? So I'm able to spend a good chunk of time on the concepts of art, so I'm able to understand them faster, right? And so it's more about the idea of thinking about art. I think that improved my these ideas. Just thinking about it, the idea of simplification, the idea of shape language. My focus and my mind is able to go into deep focus mode and think about these ideas without worry, without being distracted. So I think drawing every day improved that. And then the second thing that I think drawing every day actually does improve is your ability to warm up. So oftentimes if you don't draw every day, if you don't draw consistently, you need time to warm up. And I think if you draw every day, because I've noticed this with myself, that if I draw consistently, since I've been drawing every day, my timing for needing to warm up is faster, right? So I don't need to go in, let me do 10-15 minutes of gesture drawing. I could do like 5 minutes of gesture drawing. And now I've gotten to some days I don't even need to do the gesture drawing. I just go straight in with my ideas to Apple Pencil, to tablet, right? And I just start drawing, and I'm able to just immediately start conveying my ideas. And so I think that has been more helpful for that. And I don't think so drawing every day hasn't necessarily actually improved my art, because it's more so improved my mental, right? And it's because I'm hitting art and thinking about art almost every day. My warm-ups are a lot faster. Like, not physically that I'm drawing them faster, but like I need less time for warming up, and I could just jump into the action or jump into the idea that I'm trying to convey without losing anything that's in my mind, because I'm like, okay, I got to do my warm-ups first. I don't really need to start doing warm-ups anymore. So that's very, very I think that was a very important aspect that I've learned. Think about your art in simplification. Think about your art in shape language, and think about your art having thinking. And these are the three things that have helped me greatly to improve my art. And so, yeah. I hope this video helped anybody. And if you did enjoy it, please leave oh my gosh, can't speak. Please leave a like, subscribe. And that's it. I'm out. Bye.